Imagine a world where your culture, your nation, your identity, your independence are no longer yours to protect. Not taken by force, not conquered by armies, but dissolved quietly, systematically, under the banner of progress, sustainability, and collective responsibility. This is not the future. This is not a conspiracy. This is the blueprint of Agenda 2030, the ideological offspring of Klaus Schwab's manifesto, COVID-19, The Great Reset. They promise unity, they promise peace, they promise equality. But what they're really building is a world without individuality, a world run by unelected technocrats, a world with one government, one currency, one digital identity, and eventually, one language. Tonight, we expose how they plan to reshape everything, including the minds of the next generation. Section 1. The Great Reset created the template. In The Great Reset, Schwab openly states that crises are opportunities, that pandemics accelerate transformation, and that the world must adopt global coordination, meaning nations lose sovereignty, so unelected institutions can gain it. He frames individualism as a barrier. He frames freedom as a problem. He frames national identity as outdated. Their solution? Collectivism. A unified global society where your personal beliefs, your personal rights, your personal choices are absorbed into the greater good. But collectivism only works if people obey, and obedience only works if the population is softened, which leads us to the next phase of their agenda. Section 2. Building a one-world government. Agenda 2030's language is crystal clear. Global governance mechanisms, unified international coordination, shared frameworks across nations, harmonized institutions and enforcement systems. These aren't random academic phrases. They're the architecture of a one-world government. The UN writes the policies, the WEF markets the ideology. The IMF and the World Bank fund the transition. The WHO enforces compliance under the guise of health. Your vote doesn't matter. Your borders don't matter. Your constitution doesn't matter. Power shifts from the elected leaders to global administrators you'll never meet. But a one-world government can't function if languages, cultures, and identities remain distinct. So the next step is simple: dissolve them. Section 3. The push for a one-world language. In the Great Reset doctrine, they emphasize unified messaging, shared communication systems, global narrative alignment. Translation: a future where cultural languages fade and a universal digital language takes over. AI translation tools are already training the next generation to abandon their native tongues for algorithmic communication. Cultural heritage becomes a burden. Individual expression becomes a flaw. Language, the foundation of identity, is rewritten into a controlled, programmable system. But this next part, this is where their plan gets brutal. Section 4. Gen Z, the engineered generation. If you want a one-world system, you must build a population that embraces it without question. That population is Gen Z. This generation has been psychologically targeted like no generation before. Number 1. Systematically dumbed down. Education has become indoctrination. Critical thinking replaced by emotional reactions. History rewritten. Attention spans shattered by dopamine-driven apps. Number 2, weaponized emotionally. Every disagreement becomes trauma. Every opinion becomes violence. Every challenge becomes oppression. They're trained to break, not to fight. Number 3, sexual confusion as a tool. Identity, the core of self, is intentionally shattered. Boys told masculinity is toxic. Girls told femininity is oppression. A generation left wandering in identity limbo becomes easy to guide, easy to shape, easy to manipulate. Number 4, digital overexposure. Gen Z lives online, and whoever controls the digital space controls the minds of the young. Algorithms decide what they think, how they react, who they hate, and what they fear. Number 5, dependency over independence. This generation has been raised not to survive, but to comply. They trust systems over themselves. They trust institutions over instincts. They trust convenience over freedom. Perfect candidates for Agenda 2030's collectivist future. Section 5, the final destination. Agenda 2030 moves toward one outcome: one world government, one world currency, one world surveillance grid, one world digital identity, one world language, one world culture, one obedient, softened, weakened population. And the pandemic was the launch pad. The Great Reset wasn't the finish line, it was the opening act. Their true finish line is 2030. What they fear most. They don't fear pandemics, they don't fear economic collapse, they don't fear climate emergencies. They fear awareness. They fear men waking up. They fear the youth waking up. They fear people rejecting collectivism and reclaiming sovereignty. Because once humanity remembers who it is, the entire agenda collapses. If this message hits you, if you see the patterns, then hit like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. This information needs to spread faster than their agenda. And remember, you're either the lion or the sheep.